If you have ongoing exposure to controlling people, it's a virtual certainty that you're going to experience blurry boundaries, which is why I've created the extensive online course called This Is Me, Establishing Boundaries with the Controllers in Your Life. There's a link below that will give you all of the details, and I hope that you would find it therapeutic. The more you understand about the topic of narcissism, the more you realize that there are multiple ways of looking at this. Narcissists don't all act exactly the same, although they have some very strong similarity in their core ingredients. Among the most difficult of the narcissistic types of individuals to deal with is the sociopathic narcissist. Now, let's keep in mind that their starting point is they have all of the core ingredients of narcissism. A very high need for control. They're very selfish and self-absorbed. They're exploiters, users, manipulators. They want to be superior over you. Pathological defensiveness. They have very low, and when I say very low, very, very low levels of empathy. And then to add to it, and this is where they cross the line into the sociopathy, they have a pervasive disregard for your rights, your needs. They have no particular moral compass at all. Whatever they want in the moment is what they go after. And so what I'd like to do here today is I'd like to pull the curtain back on their tactics. I want you to have a real good understanding of who these people are and how they engage, because it's so essential for you to know what their tricks are, because they're very strong in their scheming and manipulative tendencies. But the more you know, then the more you're going to be able to stay out of their clutches. Now, as we take a look at some of the things that tells us that we're involved with a sociopathic narcissist, there are multiple things for us to look at. First, I mentioned no moral compass. They actually have an intellectual grasp of right versus wrong, but they just don't care. Rules and standards and principles are for everybody else, but in their mind, it's like, I'm different, and you need to follow them. And in fact, I'll even write the rules, but they don't apply to me. In addition, with these sociopathic narcissists, their first impressions that they bring to you are never accurate. And I'm not going to say they're usually not accurate. They're never accurate. These people are phony baloney. They are skilled at creating false, positive, charming kinds of impressions. But over time, you realize there's a demon behind the scenes there, and it'll eventually show up. In addition, they have a major sense of self-importance. They honestly think to themselves, well, I really am above everyone else, which is why all the rules for you don't apply to me. I'm truly unique. And they forget every person's unique, but I'm the one that's really unique in their minds. You need to listen to me. In addition, part of the sociopathy implies that you exist to be exploited. Sociopathic narcissists are the consummate users. When they engage with you, their mind is whirling. They're thinking, okay, what can I get from you? How utile are you going to be to me? And what do I have to do to manipulate you to fall in line with my schemes? Likewise, in their minds, truth is merely a toy to be played with. Now, what this means is they lie easily, and they keep secrets, or they won't fulfill the promises that you thought they were sincerely speaking to you. Truth is just something to mess with. If speaking truth actually gets them somewhere in the moment, okay, I'll do that. But then later on, well, truth changed. It's just a toy to them. Now, in addition, and this is one of the things that is so disillusioning, particularly if you're a person that does have a moral and ethical compass, these sociopathic narcissists show no remorse when you try to call them out. You can catch them telling lies or being very inappropriate or acting in ways that are very demeaning toward other individuals. And when you call them out, it's like they don't have the same kind of guilt that other individuals have. And typically what they'll even do is they'll give you a lot of boomerang communication. Me, what about you? You've done the same thing. Or they may do victim shaming. And it may be, well, if I did something wrong, that person is the one who set the whole thing up. And so whoever they're victimizing is the problem. And so they're very slippery when it comes time to holding them to accountability. In addition, one of the primary things that we know about sociopathic narcissists is that they actively seek to trigger your emotional instability. For example, if they know that you're anxiety prone, they'll speak in ways that make your anxiety worse. If you're depression prone, they'll shame you for that. If you have frustrations or tensions, they'll speak and act in ways that bring it out. And then guess what? They throw it right back at you and say, I'm not the problem here. You are. That's part of their manipulation and it's part of their exploitation, which then in their mind excuses them for acting in the exploitive way that they do toward you. And then I mentioned they can try to trigger your anger. Another identifier of the sociopathic narcissist is in their world, their anger is very disturbing. They're very vengeful in the way that they communicate anger. In healthy relationships, we can feel anger, but we can actually communicate it with respect and dignity, and everybody gets to walk away with reasonableness. Narcissists don't think that way at all, and especially the sociopath. And then finally, we can say they absolutely don't learn. They have an underdeveloped conscience, and whatever you're going to say to them to try to bring them along the path towards decency, it's not going to soak in. Now, as a result, there are multiple things that they can do that they're going to bring to the relationship that are going to make the relationship untenable. In addition to everything that I mentioned, we can say then that when you have this sociopathic narcissist, loyalty is a one-way street only. And guess which way it is? You have to be loyal to them, but they're not about to be loyal to you. In addition, these individuals use lots of convincing and persuasive speech. They kind of have a salesman approach towards you. It's like, come on, you need to do this, and let's try this, and it'll be okay. You don't have to worry about those kind of things. Let's just do it. And they can be very persuasive and persistent in the way that they try to bring you into their schemes. In addition, as you communicate with them, you'll notice that they tend to make a lot of use of loaded questions to make a point. You know, why would you do something like that? Or don't you remember last week you told me this, now you're doing this? And they want to keep you confused, and that's part of their own evasiveness, because that way you can't pin them down because they're trying to keep you feeling dysregulated. Accountability efforts on your part toward them will not succeed. Short term, you may say, we're only going to do this, and that's the end of my contribution. They may say, okay. Long term, accountability simply does not work. They are going to do what they want to do. Now, having said that, any positive emotion that they will display toward you is fake. They can be charming short term, but because they have no empathy to draw upon, there's no heart connection, and even their pleasant emotional expressions are part of their manipulations. They have a strong need to draw attention to their specialness. Look at who I am. Look how special I am. And they're very convincing in letting you know, well, there's not many people like me. And I'm thinking, well, thank God for that. Actually, there are too many of them. But they want you to know how special they are, and which means that they're outside the parameters of normal standards. And then another thing that we can say is the sociopathic narcissist will absolutely slander you behind your back in a heartbeat. When I say they have no loyalty, it's like, no, not only do they not have loyalty, they actually thrive on keeping you in the down position because in their mind, that elevates them. So this has many implications for you. When we're able to pull this curtain back and we're able to uncover some of the tactics that these sociopathic narcissists will use, first and foremost, you're going to need to memorize this one word. It's the word no. And use it often. When they keep coming at you with all of their requirements and duties, no, I'm not going to go in that direction. Now, what that also means is You don't need to get drawn into any kind of debates or justifications with them. Keep in mind, they couldn't care less what you think. You're meaningless, so they're going to just keep coming at you with their persuasiveness, even when you say no. And so that being the case, I'm hoping that you can maintain a certain alliance with individuals who are morally and ethically grounded, so they can keep you on the right path, and it gives you a sense of accountability. And it also reminds you that you are healthy. You're just dealing with a very unhealthy individual. So make sure that you are not, you don't keep your relationship with that person secretive. Like, I'd be embarrassed if people knew that what I was up against, that kind of thing. And then, frankly, when possible, get away. These people are poison, and like I say, they have no attachments to you because, like I say, they have a pervasive disregard for anybody but themselves. It's all about me to the max. So I know this is kind of a pessimistic kind of thing for us to see, but the more you're able to understand it, then the more you can see, well, if that's the case, and if this is what they bring, I'm glad to be able to uncover what it is so that I can then move forward in an informed way. And that's what we're trying to do here on this channel. Now, if you find that a video such as this is helpful for you, and if you've not already subscribed, I would encourage you to do that so that we can keep more videos coming to you. I'm a therapist, and I've dealt with so many people who've had heartache because of their exposure to very troubled people. And so my aim right now in this stage of my career is to bring as much information that I can to assist you. Likewise, if you have a need for therapy, then I would encourage you to seek that out. I'm so pleased that I've been sponsored now for years by the people at BetterHelp.com. It's an online therapy resource. We have a link below, and I would strongly encourage you, if you have a need for this, for somebody to help you unpack this, go through that link and seek out the therapy that would assist you in dealing with these very difficult individuals. Also, I have my therapeutic courses, and these are my online classes, and so they're very extensive. Each course has multiple videos, written documents, guided questions. We have Ready, Set, Connect about making connections with others. We have This Is Me about establishing boundaries, and that's so essential with these individuals. We also have This Is Me, Free to Be, Finding Yourself Despite the Controllers. We have my webinars that are a shorter version. We also have my podcast, our website with many articles, lots of resources to draw from. The sociopathic narcissist is among the most difficult in the world to deal with. Know that, know what you're dealing with, and when we're able to uncover their schemes, knowledge becomes power, and it empowers you to remain committed to your sense of decency, because I'm hoping that in the long run, you can be that person of steadiness that they're not, and in the end, you wind up being a person of peace.